Hello, my name is Cedric, and along with my beautiful wife, Connie, we'll be hosting my brand new podcast, That's What I Said. I'm a retired Navy veteran that suffers from PTSD and anxiety, and we'll discuss how I cope with the mental illness through comedy and discussion. It's a podcast that will talk about everything, from cryptocurrency to comedy. If we're worrying about the dollar going up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's still a dollar, guess what? The value of that means absolutely nothing. Cryptocurrency in itself is the future of money. From spirituality to cannabis. To have cannabis on the Schedule 1 list is bullshit. I'm sorry, it is. It makes absolutely no sense. If it's a seed that can be planted and it has healing properties in it, why the hell is it in Schedule 1? Last time I checked, cocaine don't have healing property in it. From interracial relationships, I don't have a problem with people talking about interracial relationships. People try to talk bad about my interracial relationship just to think that they can get under my skin. I mean, really, it don't bother me. I mean, let's not make, call a spade a spade. But if you have a problem with someone that's in love, it shouldn't matter the race of the person. It's a mental illness in our community. The problem is people want to put labels on it. Everybody wants to put color on everything. And as soon as you put color on it, it gets treated differently. The money gets treated funny. Because if it's dealing with Asians, guess what? It's going to take a longer process unless those leaders step up and get into the president's face or U.S. leaders' face and say, this is a problem in our community. Not leaving one topic unturned. If you want to hear real, authentic conversation, interviews, and comedy, please take time to listen to That's What I Said, because I said what I said.
Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. Listen to That's What I Said. Available on your favorite podcast platform.
That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut. Deadass.
Welcome to another episode of That's What I Said with Cedric Sanders. Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filters. This broadcast starts now.
What up? What's good? It's Tuesday. Let's get the elephant out the room early, first and foremost. Let me cut this music down. Let's get this elephant out the room. So last week, I was supposed to do a podcast, and I fell asleep. Are you over there?
I'm here.
Man, you ain't saying nothing.
No, I was waiting till you was done talking. I'm not trying to cut you off.
Whatever.
Yeah, okay.
We both was asleep. How you bullshitting?
I was just about to say, both of us.
So,
fell
yeah,
out.
I
think it was the heat.
It was. Well, it was just ramping up that week because it's been Hades since last week. I mean, and it's still going on. It's supposed to be 97 here tomorrow. So,
yeah.
But anywho, peace and love to y'all.
Yes, thanks for tapping in and tuning in and catching us on this Tuesday evening. We appreciate the love and support from everyone.
Yes, make sure y'all hit that like button and y'all do it a lot. And make sure that y'all subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, it doesn't matter. I'm on all platforms, but That's What I Said. Make sure y'all subscribe. Really appreciate it. And some of the things that people don't realize is that, you know, when you actually like and share people's podcasts, it actually is an upfilling of different algorithms that happen when you're able, to share and like, because now it's going through a different filter system. It's going through a different friends list. So it's not the person that is doing the live friends list. It's going to be going to maybe yours or other groups and things of that nature. But anyway,
Yes.
what's been going on?
Aside from it being hot, yeah, I got nothing. Like,
I'm over here sweating because my computer puts out so much heat, and then everybody would like to say, oh, well, you have to have fans, that helps cool it down. Well, yeah, you're right. This is the problem. I got all these lights,
yeah,
and the sun is on this side of the house.
I was just gonna say the sun is beaming on this side of the house too. So,
And plus, I got 2 video cards that just angrily push out a lot of heat. So it is what it is. So anyway,
yep.
I hope that everyone is enjoying themselves. If you're not experiencing this heat, that's good. If you are, stay cool. Do what you got to do, because this weather is not for play right now.
No, definitely not.
So tonight's topic, we're going to talk about just basically a mental health checkup. I haven't done one of these in a while, but being that it's Mental Health Month and Men's Mental Health Month, but mainly Mental Health Month, we should take time to look out for those that are dealing with some type of mental illness or some type of, just any type of stress that can mess with anybody's mental at any given time.
Right.
And I'm not saying you're supposed to babysit these people, but have empathy and care.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you really got to look out for people. I'm not saying that you got to stop what you're doing to make a conscious effort to check on people. What I'm saying is if you actually say that you friends or these people are family, and you call them bruh and sis and all this other shit like that, are you checking on them? Are you texting them? I'm not saying you're supposed to do it every day. I'm not saying you're supposed to do it every week. But are you truly their friend? Are you truly a bruh and sis? Are you really checking on the people that you say you love and care for? Or do you have an expectation they're supposed to check on you?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that shit because that.
Well, I think we need to talk about that, and the reason why is because some people do have that expectation, and there's others that are like they're in their zone, and it just doesn't register with them, especially if they're undergoing some type of stress or mental health situation themselves. So they don't always pick up the phone to text or whatever. They're in a silent zone almost.
Well, I think a lot of times people get into a comfort zone with their own stress to where they don't want to burden, quote unquote,
Right.
burden other people with their problems. And I get it. But I think a lot of it is misinterpreted because, like for me, I'm somebody that will never put my own mental on anybody else. But if people know I haven't been like online or haven't been doing anything, people will check on me and be like, hey, I haven't heard from you. You good? And I'll be like, I'll be all right. I'm dealing with some shit, but I'll be fine. And to me, that's enough. The fact that somebody just took the initiative to check on you and say, hey, I ain't heard from you. Good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not asking somebody
in a while or whatever. Yeah.
Right. But I'm not asking somebody to be Dr. Phil.
Oh, no.
Okay. I don't need somebody to come over here and be like, oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. And blah, blah, blah. And I get it. You're being helpful and you're trying to, do the best you can to help someone in the situation. But I also think that it could be overbearing sometimes, because a lot of times we get into our own heads about whatever's going on, and we overthink, we're overprocessing, we're doing all these things mentally that we know we're not supposed to do, but that's just the road we go down when we dealing with certain things, regardless if you have to, you're dealing with PTSD, you're dealing with anxiety, depression, you go into these deep cycles of deep thought of things you can't control.
Yes.
And one of the things that I fight with, even with myself, is I overthink things that I can't control. And the things that I can't control, some of those things still don't change. I mean, it could be in your relationship, it could be a friendship with someone, it could be your job, whatever the case it is. You have control over certain things that happen in your life, but we get in a position where we overthink and say, you know what? I really ain't got to deal with this. And mentally, when you have that mental health, when you're dealing with certain things, a lot of times that's exactly how we think.
Yeah, your brain goes into overdrive.
Yeah.
Instantaneously.
Yeah.
It's not a hold on a second. No, it's already there.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times, even when you go through therapy, they tell you, do these steps whenever you start going through this thing. If you're triggered, do these, suggested things.
Right.
And like for me, certain things that trigger me, I try to stay away from, or I try to avoid, but you can't be, what they like to say, you can't be scared, blah, blah, blah. And to me, it's not about being scared. It's far from being scared. It's shit that you just don't want to deal with.
Right.
I don't want to have to deal with that. I'm not in the headspace to have to deal with that shit. And then when something happens, when you're in the headspace to deal with it, you can walk away. You can do whatever it is you need to do to mentally deal with whatever you need to deal with, so that you can move on with your day and not be all succumb with it and feeling like you're overly processing everything. And this is what you've been doing all day. It's just over processing things you can't control. You can't control other people. You can't control other people that don't care necessarily about where you are mentally. And you could be open about to these people, and guess what? They don't care because it's not them. And when it's not them, why would they care enough to just be cautious to not push themselves over into your lane to where now you're pissed off because of some shit that you just don't want to deal with? And a lot of times I think too, it's not so much the other people. It's you. It's certain habits that people that deal with mental health do and deal with that purposely puts them in that state of fight or flight. Question. What would you say is the best way to handle someone you want to support, but it feels like they want to fix their life?
They want you to fix their life like I
Blink, I'm glad you said that because I'm actually dealing with that right now. And I'm not going to put this person's business out there, but I will say this, and I will put me into this scenario, because this was me a few years ago. I had this big thing of not wanting to go see a psychiatrist at all. I just didn't want to do it. And it wasn't because I heard bad stories about it. I'm a black man. I don't think I need help. I just need to just deal with it the way I need to deal with it. And when I finally said, you know what, this is stupid. I do need help. I can't expect Connie or whoever else is there for me to read books, to cautiously walk, on eggshells around me all the damn time. They need to understand what I'm going through. I need to understand what I'm going through. But also, let me say this. If you are with someone that has the expectation that exactly what you said, Blink, that they have the expectation that you're going to help them, you're going to support them and everything else, but really and truly, they're not doing anything for themselves, you need to have that hard conversation with them and say, look, are you actually getting the help you need? No, I would much rather just talk to you because, you know me for this, this many years, and, we've done this together. And I get that. And I'm going to always be that ride or die friend. But I'm not somebody that you can rely on at 2:00 in the morning when you're having a crisis, there's certain things that you have to be able to put yourself through, I think, to calm you down. Yes, sometimes you might need your friend and everything else, but what are you doing for you? Because sometimes we got those friends that you say at any time, you know, use my number, you can call me and everything else. And now you're on the phone with them more than you're on the phone with your significant other or people in your family. Because literally you're trying to talk this person from jumping off the porch. And to me, that's kind of selfish. It's selfish for that person to always push that person, you know, to do that. And that's just my experience, Blink, you know, from what I was dealing with and still progressively deal with today. You know, I don't know, ain't tripping on no typos. I can read. I was a secretary, or I shouldn't say that. I did administration. So all I did was look at documents and correct them on their English and jargon. But something I had to realize, in 2017, well, even before that, when I was living in Florida, right after I retired in 2013, I was like, what is this? What is going on? You know, I realized I was drinking too much. I had insomnia real bad. I didn't want to go to sleep because of nightmares. Some nights I don't want to go to sleep. Like last night, I did not go to sleep until 2:00 in the morning because I just couldn't go to sleep. And a lot of it was because I was overthinking. I had a bad dream earlier when I had just fell asleep, and it was putting me back into that fight or flight, or me not feeling like, I would say that it made me anxious. Like I had a dream that made me anxious, and I got up and it was hard for me to go back to sleep. Eventually I did, but that was stuff that I was going through back in 2007. Well,
before then.
Yeah, I was dealing with it more so in 2013, 2014. Mm-hmm. But it progressively got worse when I moved to Washington State. It just progressively got worse. So what I try to tell people is just based off my experience. I would never tell someone how to deal with their own, you know, mental illness or whatever like that. But you need to have a good circle. First and foremost, you have to have a good circle. There's got to be people outside of the medical industry that you can talk to. And you want to tell them exactly what you're telling them at your, you know, psychiatrist's appointment. But at the same time, you want to have that open door of honesty to where you can have those conversations and have that comfortable space.
Yeah. And make sure it's a no judgment zone.
Well,
because, I mean,
yeah, you're right. But
dealing with mental health, you feel like you're being judged 24/7, 365 by anybody and everybody that you come in contact with.
Not true. Well, that's true partially. Yeah, you do feel that way, but
right, because as soon as you want to speak on what's going on with you, when you're talking to that supposed to be support person or what have you, mm-hmm. you feel like they're judging you instantaneously based on what you're talking about.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I got to the point as the years progressed that my first thing I say whenever I talk about my mental illness, and it's very rare that I really get into details about why. I've gotten to the point where I'm almost comfortable talking about it. Not everything, but I talk about it. I talk about certain things comfortably enough to where I can explain what it is and explain it in such a way that it's not going to trigger me or bother me. But I open the conversation, says, if you're a judgmental type person and you're going to feel some type of way because of what I'm telling you and you're going to think I'm crazy, then I'm not going to continue this conversation. Because it's more stressful for me just to open my mouth to say this and open my heart to say this because I trust you. At least I think I do.
Right.
And if I can't trust you, then who can I trust? because you supposed to be my bro, you supposed to be my sis, you supposed to be my best friend, or this, that, and the third. And we know how it is in our own different communities of people that say we cool, or that's my brother, or that's my sister, or that's my best friend, or hi friend, or whatever the fuck it is that people say nowadays.
Right.
But I cautiously tell people, and I say cautiously because everybody's got feelings, and you got to make sure that, you know, you don't rub people the wrong way. But when it comes to mental illness, I just don't want people to feel like they have to walk on eggshells when they're around me. That's never something that I've wanted to do. I tell people openly and say that I'm not comfortable going there. Case in point.
Yep.
We have a friend of ours that can get tickets at a very affordable rate, and they're in very great seats. And I'm from Kansas City. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and they're playing Atlanta in September. It's a night game. I said, no, I can't do it. And everybody's like, you scared? What the fuck's wrong with you? No, I ain't scared. It's nighttime. First off, I'm driving in unfamiliar territory. I don't live in Atlanta. Yes, my mom is from there. I got family that live there, so I'm cool, yes. But I know how football games are and how long they last.
Exactly.
I am not trying to drive from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta at 11 o'clock at night to drive to a hotel in traffic to go to a hotel because I live 8 hours away. Not happening. Plus, I'm going to be in a loud-ass stadium full of people that I don't know.
Right.
And people are just like, you got to live a little and have fun and blah, blah, blah. It's hard for me to even talk about sometimes because I think people are selfish because they think about themselves and how great their mental is and not what other people deal with. Blink has a question in the comments. You want to read that?
Sure. What is it with the Black community not wanting to seek out professional help?
Pride and ego. That's all it is. It's pride and ego. Especially for a man. If you see a man, all women that see a black man, they see him as a strong black man. Not the shit that he's dealing with. They just see, I want to be with a strong black man. And if they don't see you as a strong black man, regardless of what you're dealing with, you're not their type. Or we can't be friends. Or you're this, you're that. So now that stigma has pushed off mentally on a lot of black men and black women to where they don't want to open up to people because they don't want to be judged.
Mm-hmm.
They had this whole, like, everybody knew me as outgoing, going to the clubs, partying, dancing, doing all this shit. I don't do that shit no more. And it's not because I'm old. I just don't like being around a bunch of people. People are fucking stupid sometimes. Right. And to be honest with you, I can't stand people looking at me weird because I don't want to be around a bunch of people I don't know. Absolutely. And I think a lot of it, to be honest, is not just the upbringing, it's how much support are you getting from your family when it comes to mental illness, and how much support are you getting from your friends? Because people will weigh that and say, I get more support from people I don't know on Facebook when my own family don't even support me. And see, a lot of people don't know this, but I'll open up on this podcast. I didn't tell my mom and my brother that I dealt with PTSD and anxiety until I moved to Virginia. Right. I've been retired since 2012. I was diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety not until 2016. I had a whole 4 years where I could have told them I wasn't ready. I was still trying to deal with it myself and try to understand, like, why am I always triggered by this? Why is it I don't like going to the beach no more? Why is it that I haven't been fishing? Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's like, man, I know you talk about fishing. You want to go fishing? No, I don't. Not with you. And it's not them that I have any problem with them. I don't trust them.
Right.
There's friends that I talk to a lot. I trust more than people that I've known for years. There's people that I probably have been friends with for 3-4 years. I have more trust in them than I have with certain people that I've been friends with for 20 years. And I think the reason why is I see them more than I see them people that I've been friends with for 20 years. And yes, I trust those people, but to just all of a sudden pop up and say, hey, let's go fishing? Nah, you can have that shit. I don't know you like that. I know you 20 years ago. I don't know you today, right now.
Yeah.
And that's just how my mind works. And a lot of people will say, that's probably just a trust issue, bad relationships. And you can say whatever the fuck you want to say it is. But I gave a lot of trust to people that not only gave me the reason to not want to be their friend anymore, but to treat them exactly how they treat me. I got treated, I'll put it to you like this. We had somebody a couple of years ago that we were cool with, that I used to talk on the radio with, that opened up to us and we partially opened up to them. And I had told Connie, don't give that motherfucker everything. You give him enough where he's comfortable in the conversation. You don't give him everything because you're still getting to know people. You don't give them everything. You get them just enough to gain your trust. And then you give them a little bit more. You don't give them everything. And this person in particular was giving us everything and was like, I need you to be this person for me and call me on my shit because you already do it. I'm like, okay. And then what happened? That next week, the true colors of this person came out. And not only did the true colors of this person come out, the true colors of who I am came out to them, a side that they should have never seen. But the back talk is I'm an asshole. I'm all about my ego. I think because I was in the military, I think I'm better than everybody else. No, the fuck I don't. Hell no, I don't. I mean, just because I was in the military and I did 20 years, that makes me better than anybody else? No, it doesn't. It never has. I don't never depict my life better than any other man or woman on the face of this earth just because I've been in the military. That ain't never been me, and that never will be me. Now, anytime somebody talks to you like that, they're jealous of you. And the reason why they're jealous of you is because you may talk about the benefits. You may talk about all the things that you have, had to deal with or had to receive or whatever the case may be. That's jealousy.
Yeah, and all the things you did and places you went and things you saw, and they're jealous of you because you left your hometown and went and did something that you wanted to do.
Oh, and they raggedy ass is still in their hometown and they ain't done shit.
Right.
And somehow they mad at you when y'all ain't even from the same hometown.
Right.
You just a Facebook friend at this point. It ain't even at this point, period.
Right.
Like, I don't know you. I only know the representative that you have placed in front of me. That's all Facebook friends are, representatives. You don't know who the fuck these people are unless you actually know them and they got a Facebook profile. Anybody new that you listen to or look at on Facebook, that's a representative. Period. We all know who the representative is. We all have used the representative. The representative is part of our repertoire. You want me to tell you why I know this? Have you ever done a job interview?
Absolutely.
You sending in a representative. You ain't sending in Connie. You sending in Constance.
We can't talk about the alter ego now.
Fuck. Delvin ThinkPad and Constance is the representatives. I'm Delvin ThinkPad. That is Constance. Damn, we need to do a segment with Delvin ThinkPad and Constance. But anyway, that you sending in a representative when you do a job interview. Yes, you are the representative of this particular person. And you're going in, I can do this, and what about this? What's good, fam? We could do this, and we can do this, and blah, 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 blah. You got all these accolades of what you do when you come into the job interview. That is not you. That is the person that answers the phone. Hello, when you talk like this. Nigga, we know your voice. How you gonna try to answer the phone like, hello, all sexy and shit, but when I'm over at the house, it's like, hey, so, you want a drink? It's like, what? No, I want the voice from when you pick up the phone. I want this Horace Grant built voice that you got.
I'm done.
Out here like, you sound like a bear struggling to scratch his own back. It's like, no, shut the fuck up. I want that person. I want the person that answers the phone. Hello, how can I help you? That's the person I want to talk to. That's the problem. We get involved in all these relationships and they send in a representative and not they ask. And when the real person shows up, oh, now all of a sudden you want to get an attitude problem. No, I told you I'm going to flip the fuck out. I told you there's two things you don't do to me. Lie to me and be disloyal to me. Everybody knows that. Everybody that's known me for years, and if you don't know, now you know. Don't ever lie to me. And don't ever be disloyal to me because I'm probably the loyalest dude ever. I will stick around even when your shit stink. I'm going to stick around. But when they get to the point where I'm like, nah, this is too much, I'm out. I'm all the way out. Ain't coming back. You can talk all this shit on Facebook, social media, all that. See, that's what's so sick. Y'all making me go down this mental health lane to talk about shit that needs to be talked about.
Because that's what happens, though.
This is church.
That's what happens, though.
This is church.
People talk about everything online behind the computer screen instead of talking to themselves.
No, they online gangsters. That's what it is. They online gangsters. They can get in there and finagle the keyboard and say whatever the hell they want to say to sound tough. But then when it comes down to the situation, they ain't showing up. I done had so many people talk all this rah-rah shit, and I was like, bruh, you must have forgot. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, the show me state. Nigga, I will pour Gates barbecue sauce on there and fuck you up. And that's not a threat, that's a promise. I know how to protect myself, but one thing you're not going to do is discredit my ability and who I am as a man. And I think that's a lot of going kind of not getting off track, but to have that conversation when it comes to mental health is you're going to protect your mental health. You're just not going to deal with the representative. Because when you deal with mental health, that person don't have a representative no more. Nobody sees the representative for me. Cedric Dwayne Sanders is who he is. That's who I'm on business every day. It don't matter if you call me, text me, whatever. You're going to reach the same Cedric every time. When I answer the phone, what's up, pimpin'? What's good? That's what you're going to get. You ain't going to get no, hello. Hey, how you doing? You ain't getting that. You ain't getting the sultry voice that I used to use in the Navy. You're not getting that. You're not getting.
I am done.
You're not getting squadron name Chief Sanders speaking. How can I help you?
Uh-huh.
Hey, what's good? Say what's good. Chilling. What's good, man? How you doing?
Uh-huh.
Everybody know me. Connie will tell you.
Uh-huh. It's real. He used to do me like that all the time.
Every time she called me and be like, hey, what's up, Connie? Boy, stop talking to me like that. Like what? This is how I talk. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Nah.
You act like you don't know me. No. The talk that you had when we was over at PSD.
Right.
When you was at my desk with your high pitched what's his name? Chris Tucker voice.
Uh-huh.
No. You was getting deep voice Larry. That was my alter ego, deep voice Larry.
And can switch it up quicker.
Oh, I can switch that shit up. Don't get it twisted. I will code switch that bitch real quick. Don't get it twisted. But
so ridiculous.
But on a serious note, I think people don't realize that when you have mental health, you don't have a representative no more. That personality is gone. You don't have multiple personality. It's just you. It's not about your ego. It's not deep voice Larry. I'm dead ass serious. What's going on? The quiet storm.
Ugh, child.
But you don't have that no more. Your ego isn't. I put it to you like this. When someone tells you that you're living in your ego, and I'm not saying this as a pun or anything else or as an excuse, I can only speak for me. I don't live in my ego. I don't have a representative for me. My representative is me. I have to stand on my own business. I don't answer the phone in some kind of way to where people need to hear that professional side of me. No, this is what you getting. I ain't trying to get no job interview. I ain't trying to get none of this. I got a business doing my podcast, and the only thing that I'm really trying to do is get funding for that so I can keep it going. But I use my own money for my podcast and everything that's associated with it and all the podcasts that I do. I pay for that because that's what I want to do. I see success not just from me, but for everybody that's associated with anything that I do. My brother Vegas sent me a text message and said, thanks for the motivation. I didn't even do shit. All I did was tell him the truth. Like that ass. I told him the truth. I love this shit. Keep it going. Get your copyright and your trademark. Do what you got to do. That's what that's what people get. But see, people don't want to take that reality and use it for their purpose, for what they need to use it for.
Yeah.
If you're asking somebody for advice, why are you mad when it's not the advice you want to hear? Help me understand that, please. You asking for advice, but yet the answer you get is not what you want to hear. Then you're not prepared to ask that question.
I was just going to say.
You have an expectation that your shit don't stink. And when someone tells you it stink, now you mad. You got you want to feel some type of way.
Right.
If you don't go wash your ass, that's what I want to tell people when they act like that. Just go wash your ass.
Because really, some people don't believe
they shit stink.
Or can't see that.
They think everything is going to work. That's what it is.
Yeah. You're right.
They think everything's going to work. Men and women alike. They think everything is going to work. And
true.
Just like Blink said, it's not just men.
No.
I know some women, especially, in our parents' generation. My mom is upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
This woman will tell me until she is blue in the face to not stop letting stuff bother me.
Absolutely.
Because you can't control them. And I do the best that I can. And I beat myself over it because it bothers me. And I'm like, you know what? I can't let it bother me. Because I can't change people. I may want someone to be a certain way. I may want someone to do, said thing. But I can't be mad if they don't do it. I can't be mad at the relationship that I don't have with certain people. I can't be mad at that. It's not my fault. I can go out and initiate conversation after initiating conversation after initiating conversation, and you trying to build that relationship and build that rapport with people, but they still don't come through. Why get mad? It's them. Check on y'all people, please. I mean, people are dealing with shit nowadays that they don't want to talk about. And the reason why they don't want to talk about it is because they don't have a safe space to talk about it.
Right.
Everybody has a grudge. You cheated on me. You did this. They are human. I'm not gratifying or saying that cheating is a good thing. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is certain people have feelings. Everybody has feelings. Everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. But it's your life to live. If you choose not to be with that person because they did this, great. Do that. It's you. It's what you have to deal with every day. But when they can't respect your space and still want to validate what they've done to you that's bad, yeah, that's when you got to kick their ass to the curb. Because you might have some sympathy because it's like, yeah, okay. But when they don't even value themselves, value the people around them, could care less if you were in it or not, why give them the time of day? Why dumb yourself down thinking this is all I can get, so this is what I'm going to do? No, it's not. Just because your options are limited based off of the current situation you in doesn't mean you got to stay in that situation. Let me say that again. Just because your options are limited doesn't mean that it's limiting you in the current situation that you're in. The only thing that's limiting you from progressing out of that situation is you. Stop worrying about what people are going to think about you. Stop worrying about how people are going to think about this, that, and the third. When if they had your best interest, if they ever had your best interest, they would listen to you. Because it's not, see, people don't realize this. A man's nature, just especially a black man's nature, a man's nature is to problem solve. That's it. Problem solve. Babe,
Yes,
talk
sir.
to him for a second.
Whew. Yeah. I don't know how to follow all that up. But anyways, coming from a female's perspective in regard to mental health, pull out the transparency rug, you know, I deal with anxiety. I deal with some depression, and I'm preparing to actually go and speak to someone. You know, going through that process has taken quite a long time. Like, like almost 3 years, I think. 2.5, almost 3 years, something like that. Anyways, so, you know, when Ced was talking earlier about making sure that you check on your people, you know, you don't have to divulge everything, but make sure that you have your support from whether it's family or friends or both, and make sure you reach out to them. And if they reach out to you, you at least respond back.
Right.
At least respond back.
Facts. We about to wrap this up, y'all. These podcasts that I do on That's What I Said, they're gonna be under an hour. I promise y'all. Well, I can't say that. Let me stop. I can't promise y'all they're gonna always be under an hour, but I'm not gonna take up too much of your time because it's a Tuesday, and I respect everybody's time. But I will say this. What you got for the people before we get up out of here? Hi, y'all thought I was gonna say something.
In closing, like I said, as a woman that deals with mental health, don't be ashamed by any means to go and speak to someone. You know, check with your doctor first if you have to get a referral and all that kind of stuff. But don't be ashamed, ever. Have a fabulous rest of your week, and we'll be back next week.
Yes, we will.
Peace out.
I'm gonna say this in closing before I kick my music on and get up out of here. Something I learned a couple years ago, before we actually was when we first got to Virginia. I learned that every community, and this is racially, black, white, Asian, whatever, every community is treated differently when it comes to mental health. And that goes along the lines with just black community, white community, military, police officer, first responders, things of that nature. Everybody's community is treated differently. People have that expectation because you worked in the hospital and you're a police officer that you deal with PTSD because of things you saw. Guess what? There's people out here normally that have never been a first responder. They work wherever they work at, live where they live at, and have dealt with PTSD. Rather it's domestic violence, rather it's sexual assault, whether it's murder, shooting, someone get killed, just whatever. Everybody's mental health is all the way different. I had to realize that the black community has always been pushed to the corner when it comes to mental health. And a lot of it has been our own people. There is so many psychiatrists and mental health advisors and advocates out there that want to help, and they're black. They're black. And we just can't take the time to admit that I need to talk to somebody. Guess what? There's somebody that looks just like you that's willing to sit down with you and talk to you, if that is your vibe. My mom is this way. She will only, when we go to stores, she will only talk to the black people. She grew up in Georgia in the 40s, in the 50s, early 60s. She's been that way her whole life. But you know what? She love her Connie. She love her some Connie.
Yep.
And my wife is white. She loves some Connie. So we need to understand and navigate through these communities that we're associated with and in, especially if we want to help and try to provide that help, regardless of what it is. Just be helpful. I hope this podcast is bringing help and wellness to you. This Sunday at 6 p.m., I do another podcast called Boys to Bourbon. We're going to be talking about going vegan, healthy eating. I'm looking forward to this podcast because I'm in my transition right now on a healthy journey, as long as my wife is and everything else. We're on this journey right now to try to eat healthier and be healthier and do things that we need to do. As we're getting older, we're just like, let's not wait until we get the call from a doctor saying, hey, you need to change it. No, let's do it now. Let's do it right now. And we got 2 guests that's going to come on with the already heavy panel of myself, Paul Law, Jabin Wells, and my brother Vegas Hill. So it's going to be about 6 to 8 of us on the panel, and we're all going to be talking about healthy eating and healthy habits as not just black men and women, but as a whole. It's going to be focused on black men and women because I'm black. We're black. So make sure y'all tap into that. Follow me on my Facebook page so you can get notified when we go live, regardless if it's That's What I Said or Boys to Bourbon. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I hope that y'all can really stay cool because it is hot as hell out here. And I might be disappearing for a couple of weeks because my granddaughter's coming down here. She'll be here in July. Shout out to my brother Kevin. He got Man of the Year at his church. He will be receiving that on this Saturday. So we driving up to there this weekend. But peace and love to y'all who's dedicated to listen to That's What I Said. I appreciate the love. I really do. Make sure y'all share, like, and subscribe to the YouTube. My brother Vegas Hill is in the building. What's good, my brother? And we up out of here, man. We good. We gone. Peace out. Bitch, what?
Thanks for listening to another episode of That's What I Said with Cedric Sanders. Make sure to like and subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode.
That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut. Deadass.
Bitch, what? You eat ass with a baby spoon.